Our next presenter is from Holmatro, John Freeburger. I met John the first time at his plant on, what was it, Hawaiian Shirt Day?
Hawaiian Shirt Day, Friday.
He's actually the only one that wears the Hawaiian shirt, but it is a casual Friday at the plant. They got a very cool place going over at Holmatro, and John's a great story, and there's nobody more passionate about manufacturing than John Freeburger. Come on up, John.
Well, what can I say that hasn't already been said? I'll tell you a little bit about Holmatro. Our company was founded in 1967 by Mr. Rudy Wessels. It was founded in a little town in the Netherlands called Lichtenveld. Our new headquarters building is less than 2 blocks away from his original manufacturing plant. One thing is that we were a privately held corporation. So being a privately held corporation and having consistent ownership all the way through, including after the death of Mr. Wessels, made a big difference to everything that's happened. Everything was consistent. Everybody went along with the same plan that we had going on. We started in the shipbuilding industry with various jacks that were made. One of the big things that helped us was that in that time period, the shipbuilding industry was booming. And how many people are familiar with what a screw is on a ship? Oh, come on, there we go, all right, there we go, we got some, okay. So in AKA, it's the propeller. So one of the things that they have to do when the ships come in for rebuilding or refurbishing, they take the screw off, and on large ships, it's quite an ordeal. Sometimes it can take a week or more to get the screw off because it's on a tapered shaft and it's been on there for numerous years. So he developed a series of pancake jacks that operated off of one control and all operated in unison, so that when they put them in place, all they had to do was pump it up and it popped it off. It would take them 2 to 3 days to set it up and a half a day to take the screw off, and away they went. That's how he started his jacking business. He bought the jacks from Japan, brought them to the Netherlands, excuse me, and brought them to the Netherlands, and then incorporated his system, and then sold them back to Japan. So that's how he started. When the shipbuilding industry went down, one of his friends was over in England, and they were having a very large fire show for the fire service industry. And he said, I think you ought to look at this. It may be something you might be interested in. And at that time, it was one of our biggest competitors. Even today, it's still one of our biggest competitors. And he said, come on over and look at this. So he went over and looked at it, and he thought it was a good deal. So he went over and called his engineer up, and he came over. So that was the beginning of the rescue industry for us, where we make hydraulic rescue tools. Most people equate it to the jaws of life, which is a trademark for one of our biggest competitor, but it's kind of like a generic term at this point. We have 48 years of high-pressure hydraulic experience. We have 2 manufacturing facilities, and between the 2 of them, they're roughly around 270,000 square feet of floor space. Worldwide, we have over 340 employees, and in the Maryland area, our facility, we started manufacturing in 1988, and right now we have 60 employees in an 80,000 square foot facility. Our facility was relatively new. It was built in 1997. So we had some good things at the time. One of the bad things we had was metal halide lighting. At the time, that was one of the best things you could find. It was good. It worked well, but it had a downside. Number one, the bulbs have a tendency to explode, which we had 2 of them do that. And it also has a lot of mercury in it, along with fluorescent tubes. So we've already replaced all of our fluorescent tubes. We all have LEDs now because of RMI. Bob, like I said, everybody in here is going to talk about Bob. Bob, thank you. I mean, you've helped a lot. RMI came in and gave us an evaluation, energy evaluation, and it was really, really eye-opening to a point to when you start measuring air leaks that were so small that you couldn't even feel them or hear them, but ultrasonic said that they were there. So we went through and fixed all of those. The ones that you could see were obvious, or hear was obvious. But that was a couple $1,000s a year savings just in air leaks that you don't realize that's there. Some of the other things that we looked at are The doors that we're using now, separating sections of the buildings. The machine shop is in one area, warehouse is in another, and the assembly area is in another. So the machine shop generates a tremendous amount of heat. With the metal halide lights, I think we were looking at somewhere around 300 degrees at the light points. So I have 190 of those. So you can imagine how much heat we're generating. Some of the other things we talked about came up on the evaluation was the stratification of the air, because our facility is completely climate controlled. The problem that we have is you have rooftop units that are trying to push cold air down through hot air in the summer, and you have to end up having to cool all the air in between to get it comfortable to where it's down on the floor for the guys that are working. We are looking at the exchanger system from the company, AKA the exchangers. The other thing that we're looking at are, we have now an ongoing study with the University of Maryland Environmental Engineering. They're doing a study of the stratification. We're doing it at a baseline now. I have, through my facility, a series of 10 floor-to-ceiling sensors that actually measure all the temperatures in 10 different locations through that height, and gathers the information, and it gets data every 10 seconds. It gets data. It gathers data. I mean, the period of when you start looking at every 10 seconds, you're taking a snapshot of what 10 sensors are on each pole, 10, so it's 100 times. So it's quite a bit of data that they're going through. And they're going to look at that and determine how we are at the baseline. We are also, no way you can get around how much it would have cost if we had done something like this. Mike's helped us quite a bit. Laurel's helped us with our green registry. Jeff helped us with the green team. The green team's been great. Come up with some ideas, some things that we're going to look at. One of them we've already started, Corey and our green team's already started to look at and evaluate is the addition of some solar panels. So we're going to check the feasibility of that and see how that's going to work out. But again, none of this would have happened without RMI. So thank you.